Hey, I'm Mike with VidMuse.com. Now, those of you with FreeFly Movi gimbal should know by now that yes, you can shoot inverted or overslung. Now, just a side note, those of you with the M5 and M15 understand that yes, these gimbals fully support inverted mode. If you have an M10, it does not support inverted mode. You can fly underslung on the Ulta, but FreeFly does not recommend you fly overslung or Skyview with the Ulta and the M10 inverted. Why not? Because the pan knuckle can slip and offset the CG of the entire weight of your gimbal, which on an Ulta would put it all the weight to one side and yes, could cause the Ulta to crash and come tumbling down. It would be a horrible day. To fix that, FreeFly has just come out with an upgrade kit that yes, now you can convert your M10 to support inverted mode. It's very similar to the M5, the aluminum key tube that they have there, and you can go ahead and purchase that for only $300. Now, if you want to learn more about that upgrade kit, you can click right here and it'll take you to our website where you can purchase it through vidmuse.com. We sell all of the FreeFly products. Now, I wanted to mention several tips and tricks that we have found when flying the M15 on our Ulta system. Now, number one, when flying inverted, we know that yes, our battery trays have to be underneath the Ulta, and when changing those batteries in between flight can be very, very difficult because you have to literally get down in the dirt to, yes, pull out your batteries. But we have found a nice little secret for you. Those of you who fly with your Aero legs or the MR legs still installed on your gimbal, which is fine, you'll notice that you will be able to carefully, with the gimbal disengaged, lift your Ulta up and then flip it over and let it sit nicely on those legs like it normally would when you are underslung. This then gives you full access to your batteries, which are now on top. You can go ahead and pull those off via the quick release with the toad in the hole, and then yes, switch out your batteries, put them back in, flip the entire Ulta system back over again, boot things up, saves a little bit of time and keeps you out of the dirt. Now, those of you with the Ulta 8 don't have to necessarily do this because as FreeFly has redesigned things very nicely for you, yes, you can pull your batteries out with the quick release tray, swap in some new batteries, slide them back in, power up, and away you go. Now, tip number 2, how do you prevent your footage from being upside down when shooting in inverted mode? Well, as you know, when in inverted mode, your footage is obviously upside down. And yes, we have the technology to digitally flip the image on the fly with our lovely small HD monitors or other field monitors of some sort. But your hood or heads-up display is still not right side up. It's still upside down, and it's hard to read that stuff. Not to mention, when you finally get your footage in post, your footage is certainly upside down. Well, how do we fix that? Well, mount your camera right side up. So what you can do is invert your gimbal and yes, flip the entire cage and mount your camera in backwards. Now, once you boot up the Movi, you'll notice that once it engages, everything is normal. And yes, your camera is right side up, your footage is right side up, and your heads-up display is, yes, right side up. Now, there is a slight disadvantage if you do have a follow focus system and have to mount on the FreeFly M15 rails that they give you on the V-mount for the actual gimbal itself, that you probably won't be able to use it due to the fact that yes, you need to slide the plate back a little bit further than normal to get it to balance properly when flipping the entire cage and yes, mounting your camera in backwards. So there's a few little disadvantages there. If you're not using a follow focus, this works just fine. Now, the final tip I'm going to share with you are your Movi limits. Now, yes, in the Movi gimbal software, you can actually set tilt limits. Now, when you are flying with your Ulta and yes, you are in ground mode, you're underslung, you want to go ahead and set your limits so that your camera will not tilt too high to yes, reveal your props and booms. You want to keep those out of the frame for sure. You don't want your gimbal operator to have to rely on and guess where those are, so setting those limits, he knows he can tilt as high as he wants, and as soon as it stops, and those are the limits. Same thing with tilting down. You want to make sure you can get that nice bird's eye view looking straight down, maybe even let it tilt a little further back, but too much and your lens is going to smack the bottom of the gimbal and you don't want that, so be sure you set those limits correctly. Then when you go to invert mode, you want to go ahead and set the limits again because they're going to be a little different this time. Again, set your lower limits so that your props and booms are not going to be in the way on those low angles. And then as far as elevating all the way up, again, allowing it to tilt a little higher than just straight up so that your cables will not tangle and you're not going to smack your lens. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any other questions, you can hit us up on our website at vidmuse.com. There we offer drone and Movi consulting, on-site training, online tutorials. We also offer FreeFly products. So if you ever need another Movi gimbal and Ulta, feel free to hit us up. We'll be happy to help you out in any way that we can. Thanks for watching again. I'm Mike with VidMuse. We'll see you again soon.